Thank you, Jen. It's great to be here to really take a moment to celebrate the actions that took place last week. And as you mentioned, in addition to the coal-fired rule, we did have a series of 4 separate rules that I'm going to talk about briefly. And that was really intentional to help reduce the pollution from fossil fuel fired power plants, to protect communities from pollution, and improve public health, all while supporting a long-term reliable supply of the electricity needed to power America forward. So the suite of the final rules included the one you described, which was existing coal-fired and new natural gas-fired power plants that would ensure that the longest-running coal-fired plants and the highly utilized baseload new gas-fired plants will control 90% of their carbon pollution. The second rule was the strengthening and updating of the mercury air toxic standards, known as MATS, for coal-fired power plants, tightening the emission standards for toxic metals by 67%, and finalizing a 70% reduction in the emission standards for mercury from existing fired sources. A final rule was also completed to reduce pollutants from the discharge through wastewater from coal-fired power plants by more than 660 million pounds per year, ensuring cleaner water for affected communities, including communities with environmental justice concerns that are disproportionately impacted. And finally, the fourth rule was to require the safe management of coal ash that is placed in the areas that were unregulated at the federal level until now, including a previously used disposal area that may leak and contaminate groundwater. By announcing these final rules at the same time, EPA was really following through on our boss, Administrator Regan's commitment to the power sector, which he made at CERA Week in 2022, to provide the regulatory certainty as the industry makes these long-term investments in the transition to a clean energy economy. They also reinforce an unprecedented clean energy incentives that the President and Congress have created through legislation like the Inflation Reduction Act. For the carbon pollution standards specifically, the climate and health benefits of this rule substantially outweigh the compliance costs. By 2035 alone, the regulatory impact analysis estimates substantial health co-benefits, including 1,200 avoided premature deaths, 870 avoided hospital and emergency room visits, 1,900 avoided cases of asthma onset, 360,000 avoided cases of asthma symptoms, 48,000 avoided school absent days, and 57,000 lost work days. These standards are designed to work with the power sector's planning process, providing compliance timelines that enable power companies to plan well in advance, and a reason why we did these comprehensively, so all of these requirements come together. Since the passage of the Clean Air Act in 1970, we've seen key pollutants drop by nearly 78%, while GDP has grown by 304%, demonstrating that environmental protection supports our economic growth. Finalizing these 4 rules delivers on the administration's commitment to health protections for all communities, including communities with environmental justice concerns, many of which are located near these power plants.